Okay.
What is art? Art can be a lot of things. Like many definitions. Art is like an expression of our thoughts, our emotions. Basically, like, it's an extension of ourselves.
Art is a recreation of reality into interpretation.
It's like the basic knowledge of, when you think about art, it's like where people define art as something that is seen, something that is normally made by people, like, let's say painting or anything like drawing, for example. That's what most people think about art. But to me at least, art is a mirror. Because it's a reflection. It can be a reflection of the artists themselves, and also it can be a reflection to those who are going to see that art. It's sort of like a language in how we live. It's how we communicate with other people with things that we can't really put into words. But what really is art? Everything of art. You can see spirit of it. It's talking. Everyone would tell, not everyone, I mean, someone would say that it's art. It's art talking. So I wish that art is a very wide definition. It's a very broad definition of what it is.
Like when you see a table or a tree, you turn that into your own interpretation through your experiences and what you were exposed to, the mediums or the media you've been exposed to, or the experiences you had growing up.
Anything can be art, like something as trivial as stealing. Someone can even call it art. So, yeah, like something is regular reading, creativity. One can call it art, like drawing something. That is what the most majority of people think about what art is.
When you perceive something in reality, your experiences, imagination, shapes that thing into something new.
And so this is how it plays a role in communication. That's why it's relevant. I think that's what makes art also relevant for the people. Because when they see art, it will resonate with them.
What I think the relevance of art is to people is that art is ever changing and ever growing. It's something that should be preserved through people and through an audience, because it's also a conduit for ingenuity and imagination.
That's almost most of all people think that art is useless. But in terms of like other person, in terms of practicality, art is not seen as practical compared to other jobs. But it is relevant because a human person, we think about art as something that we strive for. It's something that we see. It's something that what makes us feel.
The relevance of art is not to only look cool or to satisfy a form of entertainment. It's also to preserve culture.
That's why it's relevant to the people. It also has like importance in our cultures, our laws, how we go about things in our daily lives. So it's important in terms of psychological
And human imagination.
like in terms of our feelings and how it made us feel. It can be personal and it can be hopeful, but also it's also life changing for them. And I just think that art is very important to people because art is a role in that. It's influencing our advertisements, our products, the way we like the way our furniture. That's art. So we have to wear and anything like that. In the interview, we're going to talk with Professor John Paul Lakan and Olivares. He's a 54-year-old artist who used to teach at UP as Artist in University at College of San Miguel, and now is currently teaching as an art and design teacher in Southwest University. He was also the principal of the State Strand. And he tackles more art. If you give him account, his like portfolio, he tackles a lot of painting, particularly with art, and yeah, diorama. And he also is the creator of our also participated famous participated during the past with his short work study art fair. And in this interview, we are going to learn more about this said professor, his answers, his views about art, more about his background life, and some advice he gave to us as an artist.
I'm Professor Olivares. Art name is Lakan, which basically means chieftain, which the art world is called me based on my work there. And so I'm 54 years old. I'm not and Far Eastern University, College of St. Union. Obviously, like everyone, art should start in how you're nurtured as a child, right? So, like many people who are interested in the arts, they will pursue drawing, sketching, doodling, etc. And like everyone else, especially all of you, we started copying manga. Do not call it anime. We're not animators. So if you're copying a character, it's manga. You better watch robots watching themselves than watching Scooby or Fred Flintstone. As we grow older, as long as sa amin, our family has always been interested in the arts. So if you look at the law, check in the video, if anything in Google about me.
Sa Digital?
Yeah, they develop. So my works are mostly paintings. They are a mix of multicultural esoteric studies. I've been a master of I've been studying not exactly the topic of esoteric studies, Asian religions all my life. Anong interest ko? Kaya yan. So I was reading books when I was a kid. I started studying to the point that even some Hindus consider me a mandala master. The Malaysians consider me a Kiran master. The Maranao call me a Kiran master. So I mastered all these techniques over the years, studying it for years. So I know not just mythology, but Asian religions, etc. You know what's there. But if I do dance, those are very meditative. I do meditations before that. But for others, there's a period of time that I've done what's called visuals and others for I created a series of works for the Native American Native bands. Because I have a dream about Native Americans and when I find that and I gave it to him. Maybe now at work, in not just as an artist, graphic designer, I work also in the music industry. Right now my job is reading. My creativity is, like I said, I enjoy writing, so it's really nurturing the other students. I find also teaching a very creative endeavor, so for me, I'm actually just paint. I just do it for myself, and I also do a lot of dioramas for historical pieces. I just finished a series for the City Hall on Philippine landmarks. Okay. AI was created for the untalented. Yun na. So, why am I trying to compete with an untalented person? Create something that will AI do. Period. Kasi, in my generation, that's why this is old people get the stories well. Photoshop gets introduced in 1993. But at the end of our mail, ginagawa namin graphic design. AI is a tool. And it deducts my creativity in the graphic design world. became actually even better with that. AI is nothing if you don't get, especially say AI can't you can create a robot that can copy something in paint. Well, yeah, that's already being done now. But the true creativity, like what made expressionism such a powerful movement was for the artists to be, use the strokes, the textures to express the emotions of the scene. One of the best works also for capture nature was Hanko, our national artist. So he's a Chinese. If you look at the sport Man on Fire, if you ever get burned, that painting expresses the absolute feeling of having a third degree or being on fire. When I first saw the painting, when I was a victim of a full body burn, I said, that's me. No AI can capture the true horror of being burned alive. Enough of them on social medias and for these guys. You're a criminal, but sometimes, but there's some bullshit art around that gets famous. I know you know banana. That was a plant. I sold this. It's quite tight. It's nothing. There is some artists that make bullshit to be famous, and they get famous, and they get rich. Big fucking deal. Why do collectors go for this? Kasi controversy nga gusto na. That's the same way as influencers making money out of making controversial material. Nothing about being an artist. Well, like I said, I push myself. But my professional life, my personal life, was drinking too much. Like I said, although I said don't do drugs, but so alcohol is cheaper.
I feel like that's the case. Now you take those, if you're in that level, you don't take them.
Yeah, it was a learning process. The painting is always a bunch of mistakes put together.
As an artist, what kind of books do you recommend for young aspiring artists? If you have any specific examples.
It doesn't matter. Go for fiction, if you're in romance, then watch create with all. Like one good example is, if you look at your name, right? If you read romance novels, your name is one way they rendered romance novels into a different thing, and they put Japan as a Tokyo as the very setting. And now areas in your name are now tourist spots. People would go to these places and photographers are like, this is scene, the stair scene, etc. It doesn't matter what genre. If you want fantasy, you read fantasy. Dungeons and Dragons, etc. One way to start is rather part of imagining is reimagine the world by reading myth. The descriptions are there, but why don't you make your own version of the myth? Create the background, explain how the characters look. It all started with that. Maybe you myth when I was a kid. Then just went on to my esoteric studies, etc. and those kind of things.
So you could say, sir, that the myths serve as a foundation for your imagination.
Because myths are imagination also. Myths were created by man trying to explain the world and then he makes these stories. Diba? Natin pala invento natin but the imagination is could be growing. Including going to abstract or what you call it, installation art. But you have to keep on exposing yourself, whether by reading, going in artists, seeing what is good, what is the best. Never take video, shit right now and then it's mediocre stuff.
What do you think about burnout as an artist? Like, you expose yourself to these kind of mediums?
Definitely drama yan. I remember Dave Shugi, check his name, he's a glass artist. Or si Mari Fabian. Mari will paint every day, it's discipline. Discipline lang yan. You paint or draw every day or do something creative every day. Someone money will take every day, whether it's a good work or a bad work. They should really said. It doesn't matter what mood you are in. You can come to the studio in a very bad mood with a hangover and come up with a very great work. Or you can go to the studio and feel fine and come up with ugly work. And ugly works or rejects are part of the process. Kung dinadala mo yan, the thing is like, I feel sad, emo today. That means you're not in the discipline of your craft. It's a craft thing over the drama. Alis ka naman ay nanay mo na nagtayo, tatay mo, pinatayo mo, etc. I mean, you feel sad that day, but in general context, if you build a rhythm of working, or doing something creative, then there's no excuse to feel emo and drama. Got it? This is one thing, pinaka-guidance ng artists. We believe in the myth of the unrecognized genius. Why? Diba? At the same time, mayaman ka that you are a genius. That's taken in the characteristic of Vincent Van Gogh and Pablo Picasso. Maybe Pablo Picasso was like the absolute narcissist of artists, while Van Gogh was the ego. And they over romanticize that the guy had a mental condition. It's not that he decided to be emo, but at the same time, mas isirawa ko si Van Gogh. He was painting every day. There's no excuse for him not to paint. In fact, that was the main argument that Van Gogh had against the Impressionists. Sila Claude Monet. Well, not Claude Monet. Claude Monet would be painting every day, but sila Van Gogh, etc. They were partying all the time. So, Van Gogh was like, where's your discipline? He was fighting, especially Buchanan's best friend. They were fighting this is Buchanan's partying all the time. And, Van Gogh, who was crazy, still believed in discipline. Monet believed in discipline. And same as Picasso. No matter how narcissistic he was always creating something every day.
In the interview, we learned about Sir Lakan's artistic journey, about his life as an artist, and the various arts he had created. We also learned about his different stances on different societal issues that we face in the art world. We learned more about his stances on AI art
and how it would affect the industry as a whole.
Because AI is constantly progressing and evolving, especially in creating art.
that AI is a tool that we humans actually need. But it is something that cannot replace us. It is just a tool for us to improve. And it will never replace us, it will never replace life. It is just something that helps life. As mentioned by him, you can see that Anke's art, Man on Fire, where we see a burning man being set on fire, and it's very self-explanatory on the title. And we just know that, and he just mentioned that it is an art.
It's like a machine like AI could never be able to do that. AI doesn't have like the human qualities, the emotions that we have. It can't really feel the same way as we do.
Even AI cannot replicate the emotions behind the art, the very feeling you see when you look at the art, and you just can say that, yeah, it's a man being burned. That's how it feels to be burned. And just describing class, as mentioned in class, AI is a very, very threatening problem. But is it really a threat, or can we really use this very threat to help us improve in life?
And so he told us to not be scared of it.
AI can simply learn the artistic styles and forms, but it cannot fully understand it. Like how artists do, it cannot fully understand them and emotion it.
Because AI is just, at the end of the day, imitation of human creativity.
He told us that it's a tool, it's just something cheap that people choose over because of money, and that we should keep creating art and that we shouldn't let it get in the way of our journey.
Because AI cannot understand or feel, emotions, like the sentimental value behind art. It cannot simply replace artists.
And this ties in with our art, with our AI and art discussion in class from Group 8, that like even though AI is like a growing threat, it's only really a threat to like artists, like money, monetary, like value, and like our economic, right, with as artists in the field. It can't really like replace us, you know. Like sure, there were in that class, in the discussion, there were people who said that AI will soon be able to like feel human emotions or like try to replicate us, but it can never be us.
Like as they say, use that weakness as your strength.
And what better way than to make something that is completely different from what AI is trained off? And I feel like that relates to um, innovation, especially in our topic in art issues, which is AI art. The way that we could combat this is, like as he said, innovate and create things that are different, that are challenge the norm and the trend, because at the end of the day, human ingenuity and creativity trumps imitation.
And we also learned about Sir Lakan's different styles, different artistic mediums he used, and we can mostly see about him tackling in dioramas and especially his mandala arts.